Hello.
All right. Well, okay. Kylie and Travis, you were married October 14th, 2024. How does it feel?
I think it feels great. Married life is great. The wedding was great. We're settling in nicely.
It was. It was a lot of fun. It's also a relief to be done with all of it.
Yep.
Stress has
Yes.
definitely been lower since we got back. So
Yeah, good. So I have a couple of questions for you, just because I know that some of our future couples have so many questions about why choose Isla Mujeres and where to stay and what the process is like to work with us, as well as just doing the wedding on Isla Mujeres. So, can you tell us why you chose Isla Mujeres?
you want me?
I'll let you go. Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of a long story, but several years ago, Kylie and I were on vacation staying in Riviera Maya and at a big resort. And we got there and just didn't really want to be boxed in. We wanted to experience like some authentic culture, and the
Mhm.
resorts were not offering that for us. And so we honestly pulled up like a map and we looked at Cozumel and we looked at Isla Mujeres, and those were the two places that were within distance for us to get to pretty easily. That I had heard about both of them and heard good things. And so we chose to stay at the resort for a day and do the free food and free drink thing. Well, free, right? Um, and then we booked an Airbnb at Isla and cabbed out and ferried over and had no idea what we were getting ourselves into, and just fell in love with the culture of the island and people and the pace of the island and just the
Food.
food, right? Um, and really the differences in like activity, right? Like the North End is so bustling and so much fun to be around, and you can party there, but you can also get away from it all on either side of the island in the South End as well. So we really just loved the diversity of the island and culture.
Yeah, that first time you were staying South Point out by Danuccio's, yeah?
The first time we stayed probably closer mid island
Yeah, we were by like Isla Brewery, where it is the new
Mm,
spot now.
on the
okay.
Caribbean side, the Gulf side. So we were just like listening to the waves crash every night. It was awesome.
That's amazing. And when you came to visit, did you hear about us before, or were you like Google searching?
I had heard from a friend who'd been to Isla at some point when I was in college that he had always come out with his family. But that's really the only insight I had into the island. And I don't know, had you ever even heard of it?
I had never heard of the island. No.
Yeah.
And then since that first time, we like our wedding was
Yeah.
our fifth time on the island, so we just
And
completely fell in love and make it an annual trip now.
we've been there 5 times in 4 years. So
Yeah.
Amazing. And then you found SunHorse Weddings.
Yes, I found you guys through that was just a Google research, and it was important. I was really wanting somebody that was on the island, who was local, who had all the connections. And I just found you guys Googling and read the reviews, and there were great reviews. And then I think we just had our first meeting to kind of fill it out. And that, obviously we hit it off and went from there.
Awesome. And what was, because I know, honestly, I personally have not been to a wedding. I've been to like two weddings that weren't mine that I was planning in the last like 20 years. So I don't go to a lot of other people's weddings. I only go to mine. But how was your experience? I know that you haven't had a different wedding planner, but you have friends that get married. Do you have like a comparison? Like how do we compare as wedding planners to other wedding planners that you maybe have heard of?
I don't think that there is much of a comparison, quite honestly. I don't know that I could have expected or anticipated anything better than what we got with you all. The I don't know that I've ever been to. I mean, I do know that I've never been to a wedding that was as much fun as that. And sure, there's probably some bias in there because it's my wedding. Um, but it was such a blast, and you guys did such a great job, and just above and beyond what we could have asked for.
Yeah, completely exceeded my expectations. Like attention to detail was, I mean, great. The flowers and the decor and everything that, you guys set up and just really took all of the work off of us. I tell my friends, I'm like, there's no way that we could have had the wedding that we had of our dreams without you guys. And it was funny, like Travis and I were walking back to the hotel after the wedding, and we were like, how cool is it? Like that was the best, like funnest wedding that we've ever been to, and it was our own wedding.
Yay. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. So you guys got married at Zaza, which is one of our bigger uh, wedding venues. You had how many people? 140 something? No,
No,
tell me.
we had invited like 130, and I think at one point we had 81 yeses, but I think like 70-ish, 72 showed up.
Yeah, I think we
That's it.
landed at like 72 at the venue, at the wedding.
Yes. And how did the venue do? Like you said it was an amazing wedding. Like this venue, it's a fairly large venue, right? Like was it too big? Did you feel like it was perfect? Like
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was worried about was like, especially once we got down, when we used the bottom palapa for our reception and where everybody was dancing. And it is a very large space. So I was a little worried about it feeling too big, but it did not at all. Like there was plenty of space for people to sit down if they wanted to. And then, the DJ was there and it just felt perfect. But I also think that it could handle a much larger group if
mhm.
it, if somebody needed it to.
Well, and like we were probably a mid-sized group for that location, but it makes it nice because you've got the different palapas so that you can like dinner can be in one spot and then dancing in another. So even though it's a huge place, you can utilize the different aspects of it to your need and
Yeah,
advantage.
Yeah.
exactly.
And then we had several people compliment the food. Everybody like so many people came up to us and was like, the food was outstanding. It
That's
was
right.
yeah, everyone loved the drinks. Yeah, I think we were very happy with how the food and drink.
Yeah, and the wait staff were very attentive.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. We always overstaff. So it feels like there's so many waiters that are just around with drinks and food and yeah, I love the fact that our weddings don't have wedding food. Like they're
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was, I mean, yeah, we had several people talk about the fact that the food was like maybe some of the best food that they had on the island. And the island has and
awesome.
the island has amazing food. We had great food every single night. So.
Yeah.
I love that. And so, okay, so sometimes we have couples that are concerned about traveling, like flying into Cancun and getting on a ferry and all of this. Like, is it going to be a pain for all of your guests? What was your feedback from your guests having 70 people coming in for this?
We didn't have any issues. I think that I know of, like I think everybody, like we were very detailed on our wedding website. I think that's the
Hmm.
first step is just being as detailed as possible. And we encouraged our friends and family to, communicate what flight they're on, what time they're landing, so that way they can, use Carm and go in groups. My mom does not travel whatsoever, and she was very anxious about everything. But she got here in one piece and was just fine. So, or got there. I think it went pretty
Yeah.
smoothly.
We have my family, my parents and their friend group had probably at least two or three couples out of the 12 that were going and staying at what was it called?
Hacienda Caribe.
Hacienda Caribe.
Mm.
And probably at least two or three of those couples were at first not even wanting to go because they didn't want to
Mm.
be in Mexico because of cartel issues and whatever else. Um, and by the time it all push came to shove, they were going, and I think they were expecting it to be good, but I think they were probably pretty nervous. And
Mhm.
by the time we got there and had been like we stayed at the pool one day at Hacienda Caribe, and I talked to everybody that was over there, and I had the feeling that like not only were they having a great time, much much better time than they probably were expecting, but I think they're planning on going back.
Yeah.
I know that they go to my family and their friends go to St. Thomas pretty regularly, and the flight is really tough to get there. It takes a long time. And Isla is a really quick flight. I mean, it's a direct flight from Kansas City. It's 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then it's, 45-minute cab and a 25-minute ferry. And if everything times out, it's a really pretty easy trip to make, which is what they really liked outside of just, the stay itself. So, I mean, I think you've got people coming back to Isla, hopefully.
Yay. We got converts. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to convey to people, like, really, it's super safe. It's really fun. It's authentic Mexico. It's not a resort, but that's a good thing,
Yes.
Yes.
And
it was really hard to convince people not to stay in my family and their friends are older, and they want to do the all-inclusive resort because it's safe behind the walls and it's food's catered. But I think we had a lot of people that were maybe a little bit nervous about that aspect, but it was, Isla is amazing. It's safer than it is in Kansas City.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, everyone every night would go, like, they'd walk down Hidalgo and choose a new restaurant. And every time we'd ask, like, where'd you guys go to dinner last night? How was it? And they would, Oceans or, wherever. And we just would rave about the food. So that was important to us to, like, get everybody, out and experience true Isla.
Yeah. Yes, awesome. And the hotel, so you said some of the families stayed at Hacienda Caribe rental house, 12-bedroom rental house. Everybody else stayed at Ixchel Beach Hotel, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And how was the hotel for a big group like that?
It was great. They were really easy the front desk was great. They greeted us every morning, and we didn't really have any issues at all.
No issues.
I think a lot of people, several couples that we went with liked the uniqueness of each individual room, how they're decorated differently. And some of them have been redone and were really nice places to stay. We had a hot tub in ours, and that was nice for 1 or 2 nights at least to be able to go sit in. So it was great. It's nice to have the little restaurant at the bottom. We've never stayed in a hotel before at Isla. We've always stayed in an Airbnb. I would probably still prefer to stay at an Airbnb. But it was for what a hotel is, it was great. I mean, it did everything we needed to, and they had food and drinks and stuff outside and beach chairs, which makes it nice if you want to go to the beach with a big group. So
yeah, it was really nice having the chairs as part of the stay. But I mean, location wise, if you want to be in the middle of all the hustle and bustle, like it's beachfront, the beach is just steps out, and then you have Hidalgo, like just across the street. So location is great. I think just for us personally, we prefer to, like, be on North Beach, and then at the end of the night go more towards the south end where it's a little bit quieter.
Go to your quiet home.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What advice would you give to future couples that are thinking, number one, thinking about Isla Mujeres, also thinking about hiring us as wedding planners? Like, what if you knew what you know now when you first started, I guess, what advice would you have for yourselves?
Do it. Get married there and use SunHorse. That would be my advice. It's like, there's no second option. The island is amazing. I don't know specifically what advice I would give myself. We were 100% interested in getting married there anyway. We had no hesitations. But somebody that is, like, it's just such an authentic, cozy, amazing island full of great people and great food and great culture. SunHorse is, like we've said a couple of times, just absolutely outperformed our expectations. The amount of times we had conversations and calls and organizational help with things that we needed help with, like it made it probably as easy as it could be.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just like for myself, I mean, both of us, like, we're both very busy with work. We go through our busy seasons and just are very laser focused. And I know that you can attest to the fact that there were some deadlines that were missed on our end. And it's just but like you were very good at like, okay, guys, we really need to get this done. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't want to, like, it's obviously not your job to babysit us or whatever, but you were very good at like keeping us in line, making sure things got done. Because it is hard
Yeah.
balancing our everyday life and then this, huge event that we're trying to plan. And you did
Yeah.
great at kind of keeping us focused and getting things taken care of.
And I don't know if we ever expressed this or if you knew this, but we bought a house and moved right in the middle of all of this as well.
Yeah.
So we really just tried to kill ourselves.
Glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all done with everything.
Yay. So you got married and you moved and you're unpacked?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got some renovation stuff, but that's all that's left. Fun stuff now.
That's great. And then the tools that we use to plan your wedding with like Basecamp and Google Docs, and was that easy? Was that like, how was that?
For me, I thought it was a little bit overwhelming just with all the different platforms that we use. But over time, like you figure out where, the Google
Where everything
Drive
is.
is and the Docs and the Campfire, all of the different
Yeah.
things. And you're good. Like if I did ever have any questions, you were really good about, directing me where I needed to go.
I'm
Yeah.
and I know she's a Microsoft girl. She likes Excel. I'm a Google person, so I thought it was pretty easy. I use Google Drive every day.
Mhm.
So that made it a little bit easier for me to access some things probably. But yeah, I thought it worked well. I mean, we never had any issues with the technology. It's just technology, right? Just a
Yeah.
lot of it.
I know. Well, hopefully someday, I mean, they're doing so much so fast. Like maybe we'll get to a point where Basecamp has a Google
Yeah.
Docs integration that is super easy and it's all right there, and Dropbox as well, so that it's all in one package. That would be awesome. Give it about 6 months and I'm sure it'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Amazing.
I work at a school and we've got like 50 million different platforms, and it feels like you always have to go to a different app to click on a different button to get the same
Yeah.
things that I'm trying,
Yeah,
but
I say the
hopefully it'll
same
be
thing.
integrated at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the same problems with work. It's like
Yes.
just another thing. So
I
Yeah,
can't even remember my password.
exactly. So you guys, I'm assuming with being here 5 times in the last year, like you will be coming back for anniversaries, yes?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Holds a special place in our
Yeah,
hearts for sure.
I don't know when we'll come back next. I would assume probably the next 2 or 3. I know we've got some big trips ahead of us. But I would love to do Hacienda Caribe with a group of 10 or 12 couples if we could get it. That's just hard to organize 10 or 12 couples sometimes, but
Yeah,
that place is cool.
Mhm.
There's other houses like that too.
yeah, it's very cool. It's one of the only that have 12 bedrooms. Like even Casa de los Sueños is 10 bedrooms. There's a new 9 bedroom, but hardly anybody has 12 bedrooms. And not only that, each bedroom has its own kitchen and bathroom and living room. Like it's like a hotel room, like a cool hotel room and a house at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the
Very cool
perfect like
place.
hybrid of Airbnb and hotel. Like you're all still
Yes.
very much together. You have like the community, like living spaces, but then you're also,
You
have
got
your
your own
private
hotel suite.
space. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Incredible views and
Yeah.
awesome pool and a pool bar.
Swim up
Get a
pool
lot
bar.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's a great place to hang out. Well, I totally appreciate your time and giving all of this feedback, and I'm sure that our future couples will really appreciate all of your feedback and being real.
And seriously, I won't speak for Kylie, but I'll speak for myself. If you need somebody to talk to another couple about, like, if they want some feedback from somebody that actually got married, I'm happy to answer a call or send a text message or whatever. I would definitely do that for you guys for forever.
Aw, awesome. I really appreciate that. Really. It's been 22 years in business, but we're always doing little by little more and better and different. And I love hearing it because we work hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
it
Work hard.
shows.
It shows.
Yeah. And
It's a great team.
it was incredible. It was a dream and I just want to relive it over and over again.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, we loved having you, and I really appreciate your time. And um, come back, and I'm going to give you a margarita for your anniversary when you come back. So make sure to let me know.
You got a deal.
Yeah,
You got a
for
deal.
sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tiffany, so much.
Bye.
Bye.